Welcome to a milestone edition of the Unsanctioned Podcast. This is number 10. I'm your co-host, Luis Vasquez. You can follow me at Luis Vasquez 617.
This is boy Jay Holland. You already know it's JL City, JAYOCITY, unless it's Facebook at that 781.
And I'm Julio Jeune. You can find me at
Cuckoo.
that pigeon
The
service.
eagle has landed.
Your neighborhood pigeon. Just cue it up, and Julio Jeune will arise. On this edition of the Unsanctioned Podcast, first and foremost, Mr. Jay Holland, our very own, has a little bone to pick with one Stevie Ray of the Harlem Heat.
Not just Stevie, but he
Names.
is in the line of fire.
He is the latest
He
one
is in the line of fire.
who you want to address. And we'll be going over some Survivor Series items and some
A lot's going on in the wrestling
What's
world.
going on in the wrestling
maybe Impact. Maybe.
What is that?
We'll see if we can make some time for it.
Oh.
What's that?
And of course, you got to speak on the biggest news:
What is that?
Jericho Omega.
Oh. Did you mark out for that one?
You know I did, bro.
Absolutely.
You did?
You know I did.
Jay's trying to get his Wrestle Kingdom tickets right now.
Right now.
Hook it up.
Yeah, we want 16-hour flights to Japan. We can make that happen.
Jay's trying to go to Wrestle Kingdom. He doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long that flight is.
Unsanctioned Podcast.
You already know, man. We are now sanctioned over your airwaves. Let's get it.
Yep.
Gotta bring the city back, let me know we still here, never gonna stop. Keep rolling like a wheelchair, can't be shook. You know the wolf smell fear, throw him in the trunk, turn your man to a straight spit. No tire, just money so fire. Can't stack your bit within like fly.
Something about
Unsanctioned Podcast.
It's something. It just fits us.
That's it.
It's a good song.
Once again, that's Impala, MPALA.
Impala.
Y'all can find him, like I said, iTunes or anywhere where music is, man. Go support Hustle Squad, man.
Official
Hook that, hook
Unsanctioned
those.
Podcast theme song.
First order of business. Our very own Jay Holland has a bone to pick
On the pick.
with
Oh, yes.
one half of WCW's Harlem Heat.
And
Oh.
it's not just Stevie, but
Wait.
he is in the line of
How
fire.
you just gonna name what half? You didn't even let us say which half. Like you just jumped.
Oh,
into
no,
what
no,
half you
no,
came in.
because this can't wait. There's no suspense.
All right, let's
There's
take
no
it.
suspense. So,
You gonna jump right into it?
oh, you already know, man.
All
You
right.
already know. So,
Somehow the Ahmed Johnson interview we did is still very relevant, and just audience-wise, listenership-wise, if you want to check out our previous episode, it's up on YouTube on Fight Booth, and
under
you can check
Unsanctioned
that out.
Podcast
So,
on YouTube.
Just so you
Unsanctioned.
know, Jay obviously is going to give some context, but that is the interview that all this is stemming from. Go ahead.
So let me give him my Monday. I believe it was Monday, wasn't it? No, it was
I think
Tuesday.
it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, guy like me, I'm at work. You know, I do my work. I listen to my email. I mean, I read my emails, but I like to have some background noise, you know, so I can zone out. So I open up YouTube. First thing that pops up in my recommendations, you know, Title Match Wrestling, I believe, which is the platform that Stand Up for Greatness is on, which is the Stevie Ray podcast. Now, let's put this out here. We requested for Stevie Ray to be on the Unsanctioned Podcast. We think he would be a great guest on the podcast. He turned us down. He said he doesn't really like talking about his wrestling career, but yet on his podcast, he talks about his wrestling career.
Yes, he does.
You know what I mean? I understand. You have your own platform. You don't want to, but I respect you for the fact that you were able to take the time to respond to the message. With that being said, I'm reading it and it says, Stevie Ray responds to Ahmed Johnson's comments. And I'm like, what comments could he be talking about? So I was like, I wonder if Ahmed did another interview, because, you know, the Ahmed interview came out early October, I want to say, give or take, something like that.
Yeah,
Something
mid maybe.
Yeah, you know, something like that. You know, it started picking up steam.
Not to be precise.
Yeah. So I go into listening, and it sounds like Stevie is responding to comments that Ahmed said on the Unsanctioned Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, shit. This is it. We're actually going to get the mention. We're going to get our just due and our credit.
Which wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time that we get the credit. And we're not looking for it, but when you don't do that in the field of journalism, it's just wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? To me, I was just like, yo,
so
this is dope.
you kind of like were mentally prepared, like, oh, cool, we're gonna get mentioned, Unsanctioned. Stevie
Yeah, I was
Ray's
like, yo, this is
podcast,
dope
awesome.
because, you know, a
we
lot
love
of people,
Harlem Heat, we love Stevie Ray, we love Booker T. We got nothing but love.
a lot of people listen to that
Right.
platform. Like, that's
Right.
how we initially heard about the whole Ahmed Johnson forgot the match story. And before we can even ask a question about it, Ahmed mentioned it, which we jumped right into.
He was ready.
He was ready.
He was ready.
He
for
came
that.
out firing.
because he
was
caught
ready.
us off guard by his response to
And again,
how
anyone
Harlem
who's
Heat
listening
was.
right now, make it to the finish of this one, but after this, check out the Ahmed Johnson interview we did. It's
Yes.
worth it from start to finish.
Yeah, and so, like, you know, he beat us to the punch, and we were surprised. We were taking a step back on how he viewed Harlem Heat. We thought the total opposite. So skip over that. So Stevie Ray's talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, you know, Ahmed says, hey, you know, he didn't want to make my brother look good because whatever reason. Bleacher Report, and I'm like, Bleacher Report?
His co-host is saying it too.
I'm like, Bleacher Report. So I'm like, as they're saying it, I open up a new tab, and I'm like, Bleacher Report, Ahmed Johnson. They haven't had anything with Ahmed Johnson since 2013.
Nothing.
So,
Right.
me being who I am, I'm like, I text my fellow co-hosts, my fellow unsanctioned partners. I'm like, look at this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Luis walks over, he sees it, he's like, send me the link.
Mm-hmm.
Luis listens. Luis is in agreement. It was bullshit.
Bullshit.
And so, me being the man that I am, I reached out to Stevie Ray.
I could not believe that. And I give you props for that. I give you props. You weren't confrontational. You were very professional about it.
Yeah. And I basically told him, I was like, hey, you know, enjoyed your podcast, was listening. Section about it, you referred to your Ahmed Johnson's comments about you guys, and you mentioned Bleacher Report. Do you happen to have the article, or can you find it somehow and reference it? Because if they are stealing our content and twisting it as it is theirs, there is a problem there. And I would like to address it with Bleacher Report. You know what I mean? And he said, if I can dig up the message.
Ooh.
We're going to dig up the message.
Ooh. A little dirt for
His
the
exact response-
listenership.
His exact response was this.
Word for word. Tell him, Jay.
Actually, I never saw the link, my brother. Actually, I never saw the link. You know, there's no punctuations there, so you got to put it in there. He said, actually, I never saw the link. My brother said that he got it from the Bleacher Report and called and told me about it. Now, if that's the case,
Is he referring to Booker T? Does he only have one brother? Or no?
I'm not sure. Either way, if that's the case, my
Tell
thing
me
is,
he did not just say that.
you have to do your research.
Of course.
A good journalist does.
Yeah, you have to do your research because you're referencing other people. And I let him know. I was like, well, those comments were made on our platform, the Unsanctioned Podcast. You know, and it's one where.
And again, you weren't mad. Right now you're expressing yourself because this is your platform. This is ours.
Yes.
But the way you showed me, because you ran it by me. This is what I said. And I was like, oh, good. It was awesome. So I'm conveying to anyone who's listening right now. You're expressing yourself now, but the way you wrote it was very professional.
Yes, it's professional. I didn't want to alienate anyone because
right.
your reputation is everything.
Right.
And
and it
he
was
is
all
someone
love.
in this business who he's done something. But like I said, with that being said, if you can't take the goddamn time to reference or find a reference, if someone just told you secondhandedly and you can't do the research yourself, so you're just going based off of what you heard without researching, that is laziness. That's one right there. 2, do your research and give the proper people credit. There's no reason why people should be thinking, oh, Bleacher Report. No, we bust our damn ass to get every guest that we can on this show, to put this show together. We have no connections. We had no ties. Everything we did was reaching out. We did the Facebook messages, Twitter, we do the grunt work.
Grassroots.
Everything.
It's hard to launch it. It's hard to get started and get rolling.
And we have people who back us, who want to help us as well, who don't even really have those sides. Like I said, last episode, Pedro Merced, let's keep it funky. He patched us in with Gary Wolf. You know what I'm saying? And that's just because he told Gary he thinks he would be great on our platform. Just because he listens, he took the time out to listen, he enjoys our show. You get what I'm saying? So if you can't take the time, and this goes to anyone, if you guys can't take the time to actually do research and find out if comments were said on a certain platform or whatever the case may be, screw yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because we bust our ass and we deserve credit. Like that Ahmed Johnson interview, it's been a hot take. We've had people copying from you, Luis, straight from the Fight Booth page.
Right.
Like I said, the only wrestling platform that I know that actually gave us our credit was Wrestling Inc.
Wrestling Inc.
You know? And they didn't even have to do that, but they did. And that's why they will have my respect. Raj and everyone over there at Wrestling Inc. has my respect because they ran 2 stories based on that, and they referenced us both times. Any other platform that's copied and pasted or talked about it or had responses to something from that interview, if you can't reference us or you can't source us, go screw yourself. That's how I feel. Because like I said, we work too damn hard and we bust our damn ass to get any and every guest we can to put together a quality show for our listeners and our growing fan base. While everyone else has these connections, we do not. And we take pride in making sure that we can extend an olive branch to people that we idolized growing up and enjoyed watching and thank them for entertaining us over the years.
It's all grassroots.
Yeah. And now, I want to say a lot more, but we have other topics to get to. So with that being said, let me close it out like this. Once again, if you cannot properly cite sources or can't do your research, or for whatever reason do not want to credit Unsanctioned, or even put up a tweet like, hey guys, you know, I cited wrong, you guys should check out the Unsanctioned Podcast to hear the original comments. If you can't take the time to do that, go screw. And that's how I feel.
Julio, did you get a chance to see the video clip?
I saw the video clip.
What do you think?
Fuck Stevie Ray.
Oh, a harder take.
Oh shit.
A harder take. Hot,
I mean,
hot
topic. Hot topic.
Hot take. Hot take.
And let
a
me
consolidated one, but hot.
Hey,
let me say this.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Oh,
man.
No,
I'm sorry. Just go back real quick.
Oh, rewind.
Fuck Stevie Ray for
he doubled down.
not wanting to take the time to credit where he heard the comments from. Now, you may understand human emotion. He's probably angrier at the comments themselves and rushing to address the comments than worrying about the source that it came from. But still, fuck Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, watching.
Hold up, Luis.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Go ahead, Jay.
I want to say that although we are a collective, our individual comments stand from our own personal feelings. Now, the fact that me and Julio are in agreement of this, it now represents the Unsanctioned Podcast. With that being said, Luis, you as well bust your ass because you edit the shows, for those who don't know. You listen back to all the interviews, you edit the shows, and you write up the articles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I want to hear your take on it. What is your take?
Well, you know, I do that because I'm the one here with the journalism background. So we all take on different responsibilities with what we bring to the table. Watching the clips of Stevie Ray and his show, his podcast, wishing nothing but the best, he seems like a great guy. He seems very genuine. Where I'm a little bugged, a little bothered is that
Luis, this is unsanctioned. Anything goes.
Listen, man, you didn't want to come onto the show the first time when you were invited. Right. And
Preach.
offered. You didn't want to come on, right?
Preach.
Okay. We moved on. You were our first rejection, Stevie Ray.
Preach.
All right. This is unsanctioned. It's on the table. You were our first rejection.
Mm-hmm.
It was. It happens. You're not going to go up and do something and hit 1,000 no matter what you do. Okay? Right now, we're hitting about 995. It's all good because you rejected us, Stevie Ray.
Preach.
And we moved on. And you know who we got after we were rejected from Stevie Ray? Mr. Booker, man. I mean, no pun intended. Jay is our booker, in case anyone didn't know. We moved on to Ahmed Johnson. Okay.
Yes.
So
it's funny how that lines up too.
Exactly. We didn't get Stevie Ray. He said, "Nah, I'm good." went on to his own thing. Cool, good for you. Instead of Stevie Ray, we got Ahmed Johnson. Come to find out, we see this video clip. Now you want to talk about our content and not credit us. It's not about Unsanctioned Podcast, Luis, Julio, Jay wanting shine. I could care less about shine. I care more about professionalism. That's what I care about. I care about that whatever we do, people get the proper credit. Just like we've mentioned already in the past, I'm looking at the time, 16 minutes. How many times have we mentioned that he has a podcast on our podcast?
Stand Up for Greatness. And we listed it.
Right?
We listed Stand Up for Greatness.
Exactly. You said his name multiple times.
And we heard it on Stand Up for Greatness.
We do our planning, we do our research, and not once did it come up, hey, let's not mention the name of his podcast. No, we're not like that. We're not, because that's not the way it should be. It's all love. It's all one big community, and we're a part of that. And so that's kind of how I feel in terms of we got done a little wrong right there, because I look at it from a journalism perspective where everything should be cited. Not everything. You don't have to nitpick. But when your entire topic is around one central focal point, when you take a highlight of your podcast episode and turn it into a YouTube clip about this one thing that came from someone else's show, and you cite it to a big mainstream company that had nothing to do with it, that's wrong, because now you're burying us. And in that same conversation, Stevie Ray is talking about how important it is, no matter what your feelings are, to respect the business.
Ooh.
So to bring it all full circle.
You like hit him with his own words.
It was a little hypocritical. But as a fan, I love Stevie Ray still. Nothing but love. But from a professional journalism, podcasting perspective, I'm with you guys.
As a bitter person who he says no to when we asked him to be on this podcast, fuck Stevie Ray.
Oh, man.
Booker T was always better.
I'm
Now,
sure
can
he's
you
said that
dig it,
before.
sucker?
So there's that. We'll close the coffin on that one. If he wants to reemerge, come on the show. I feel like we're all different minds in my little part of the table
doors
here.
open for him to come on the show.
Come on.
For me to say fuck Stevie Ray when he comes on the show.
2 out of 3. Jay, how do you feel?
The door's always open. And
okay.
and
if he wants
like
to come on, it's all love.
And here's my thing.
All love for you
even
to
if he
come
wants to
on
come on and
for me to
rebuttal and
say
he's
fuck
angry,
Stevie Ray.
like the door is open. The door is open for
It's
him
fine.
to have his rebuttal. I personally feel, like I said, and we say Stevie Ray because technically he is the face of that show.
Right.
And when we mention everyone for the Stand Up for Greatness podcast, do your goddamn research and give us our motherfucking credit.
All 2 of y'all. All right.
We only asked one of them to be on our show. Only one of them said no, so fuck that person.
I don't know who the other dude is, but Stevie Ray, nothing but love. But I think it could have been handled better. And holla at us, man. Next order of business.
Chill.
Next order of business. Hey, how's Survivor Series looking, man? What do you guys think?
The Survivor Series is looking
A lot of shuffling.
A lot of shuffling.
I like it, though.
So-
AJ? Yeah, and I'm a gender guy. I like gender.
So hold
But
on.
AJ going into Survivor Series,
Hold on.
you can't be
Before we
mad at
even-
it.
Before
Can't
we
be
even
mad
get
at it.
there. Before we even get there, because
Okay.
I seen you looking at the paper,
The paper.
and just for
Infamous
Louise,
sheet.
the first topic I put up here.
Wait, what's on this paper? Research?
Oh,
Oh yes,
Oh.
inside
topics, research, yes.
Topics? Oh. Okay. Thank you for putting that together.
We have the bar, which Luis, you have been their number one. Yes, you have been their number one.
Well, I
He has
appreciate
the
you
bar
referring
merch.
to them as the
Yes.
bar.
The-
Their shirt is hot fire.
merch.
I love the shirt.
so
I can't wait for it to go 35% off on WWE Shop.
this past Raw, the bar,
Fill me in.
with help from the New Day, verbally, regained the Raw Tag Team Championships, which now puts their place on the Survivor Series card versus the Usos, and currently Rollins and
Ambrose.
There we go. Thank you. Rollins and Ambrose are not a part of Survivor Series right now. So, A, I want to get your thoughts on that title change. And then B, I'll hit you guys with a spinoff after I hear your thoughts about it.
I feel like we all know the reason the title change happened. The WWE being in England this past weekend.
So you think it had something to do with the, Sheamus, Cesaro European effect?
Yes, that. I wasn't thinking that, but yes, that. But I thought,
it sounded like that though.
I know. I was more so referencing the fact that they're in Europe, those fans don't get to see WWE shows often that are on TV, so they need a moment,
like a title change.
Yeah, so they need to see a moment.
Right. And the AJ thing too.
Now, usually with WWE, they allow you to if you're a heel and they know you're gonna be over in a certain location, they allow you to kind of kayfabe it and do the face thing, like how Edge used to be in Canada, in Toronto especially. But for some reason, they had Sheamus and Cesaro wear Liverpool attire, which was not popular amongst the crowd. So, do you think WWE is trying to go back away from the whole kayfabe thing and just try to make sure the bar is over as heels as much as possible, and not cater to the crowd? And even though in their home, I guess you could say like hemisphere, if you want to say.
I think that was to show the fans in America, hey, we're in Europe, and to show the fans
and this is
in
what
Europe
matters to them
that
here.
like, hey, we know what you guys are interested in.
Soccer.
But they got booed because
Football.
it was the Liverpool
still,
shirts.
it still showed that they should show interest in what those fans.
It's kind of like when LeVar and
Please do not
and
mention
Lonzo
LeVar
came
Ball.
out
Do not.
in L.A.
Do
that
not.
that wouldn't have worked in Minneapolis. It wouldn't have worked in Michigan, Boston. They were in L.A. They played to the local crowd, and that's what happened there with the bar.
It's true.
So
Back to the
tag
title
team
change, though.
championships.
It makes no offense. I would have loved to see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus the Usos. That's a great match.
yeah,
But I do want to see the Bar versus the Usos more than I wanted to see.
So the bar is going to the Usos penitentiary. For some reason, there's a law joke somewhere in
but
there.
is Jay okay? Did you see the chop?
Oh,
To
yeah,
his
no,
calf
that
he
was-
took? Did you see that?
Yeah, that
it looked
was-
kind of
it looked
nasty.
vicious.
It looked, ugh,
Looked vicious.
It looked real as fuck.
He took a very good bump there.
Yeah,
He made it look very, very believable.
but,
I don't know.
But they're on the card.
You
Oh, no,
think
they're
they're
definitely
still
on the
good to go though?
They're good to go.
No, did
You
you see the
couldn't-
replay?
Honestly,
Yeah.
Okay, it was
all right,
bad.
Dean Ambrose and
Yeah.
Seth Rollins versus the Usos. Who do you think was going to win that match?
Of course, the Usos were not winning that match.
Yeah.
No,
So,
no way.
you know what I mean? They had to make
Well,
you have some type of doubt in
technically,
it.
And this is where I could play devil's advocate. I think the Usos would have went over, but it wouldn't have been a clean go over.
No,
I think
it
the
wouldn't
bar
have.
would have gotten involved.
I think the fact that this is Survivor Series and it's SmackDown versus Raw, we're going to see a lot of quote unquote clean finishes. I think we're going to see, you might see, people interfere in a match, but you're going to see a lot of people get pinned 1, 2, 3. No count outs, no disqualifications, things like that.
Yeah.
Now, Luis, what is your overall thoughts on the title change?
The title. I think it was to kind of like what Julio alluded to give the crowd a little something, a little piece of WWE. Okay, here's a title change, something you'll remember forever. Like the AJ moment will go down because you hadn't even had a WWE champion switch hands in terms
Across
of
the
title.
waters, yeah.
Right, since what, like the 60s or something, or whatever.
Since the
crazy-
British Bulldog.
Right.
Well,
Is
yeah,
it?
that was
No,
the
right.
Intercontinental title, but
Yeah.
but
No,
it's
but I mean
no,
the heavyweight championship.
But, take that back. Mr. Snake, his first night, Santino. He won the
that was
Intercontinental title on
IC,
Milan.
was it the IC?
Yep.
Yeah, but heavyweight. The
No,
heavyweight.
the heavyweight had never changed hands off of U.S. soil,
That's great.
off of North American soil. Never changed.
That was the
hands.
first time?
First time in history.
Okay. But still.
In which we'll touch
It was
on.
like, here you go. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you guys deserve it. You're a huge part of the market now. Wrestling is huge over there. WWE, sports entertainment. That's big. So I think that's what that was for. I think the way they went about it was very clever with the distraction. Big boot to the face.
Now,
1, 2, 3, out of nowhere. Because how else were you going to sell the Shield, quote unquote, 2 of 3, going down to the bar?
here's
You
my
can't.
thing.
It's not believable.
And maybe it's a coincidence, but Roman Reigns has been cleared to return to wrestling.
Mm-hmm. And?
So which now aligns the Shield, which has 3 members. And it's funny how the New Day interfered verbally as the takeover, and they was the only SmackDown people to interfere, which leads me to believe that at Survivor Series, the Shield will versus the New Day. And before we even go any further,
oh, but you just set us up for that. Like
Julio Jeune predicted this.
That's frog.
Predicted this during our last pay-per-view
Yes, he did.
prediction.
Yes, he did. Which is also up on YouTube. Thank you, Fight.
Yes. Yeah, so Julio Jeune,
FightBoothPW.com.
we're going to have you lead. You could bask in your glory while you're at it. But to those who heard.
I'm surprised you even remember that.
You know what, Jay? Thanks for giving me credit, Stevie Ray. Take
Yeah.
note.
We're all about giving credit.
But no, I absolutely thought this is something we were gonna see. I knew Survivor Series was coming up, and easily, these were the two biggest factions on their respective brands. So to see them align in a match is something that definitely was gonna happen. I didn't know how WWE was gonna do it. I'm loving the way that they are doing it. It's a smart play on it, having the New Day come out and playing the heels while they're on Raw while still being faces. It's a very smart and clever move on the WWE's part. But yeah, no, I'm excited. This is a match I want to see, and I think we're going to get at Survivor Series.
I think regardless, it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a good use of the slot.
I just don't know how the New Day's comedy routine is going to play up with the Shield seriousness.
Being so serious. And
I think there's a
gonna
perfect
work.
way because sometimes Rollins is more serious, but Ambrose kind of he twins between a little bit of comedy and bit of craziness. But I think
that works.
I think it's going to be a lot more serious. And
not
honestly,
clownish. Remember what Ahmed was saying about
let's
the
be
New
honest.
Day.
Not to go into our predictions, but we all know who's going to win this match.
oh yeah,
Are you talking about the Bar and
No.
and
Shield.
Usos? Okay.
Shield
Oh,
and
obviously, the Shield for sure.
If that match is finalized, we know who's winning that
Yeah,
match.
the Shield,
who's winning
100%.
that
It'll be a great match.
But
Though. That's what matters.
if you think about it, they're mirror images of one another.
How so?
Roman Reigns is the muscle, right?
Oh,
Big
yeah,
E's the
no,
muscle.
as wrestlers, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're kind of mirror images.
Who's the weak link on each team?
Okay, Xavier Woods, and then
And Dean
Why are you
Ambrose.
saying
Ambrose.
Xavier Woods so easily like that, though?
Well,
He is the weak link, but why you say it so easily like that? Why you
Reason
say
why
the
is
weak link on
because
the Shield first?
my reason is
'Cause dead air
Xavier has yet to hold a title on his own.
He is the worst wrestler on.
No, no.
like
I will
technical
not-
ability and all that.
No.
Yes.
Xavier
Oh,
Woods,
really?
Yes,
a.k.a. Consequences Creed,
yes.
can wrestle.
I didn't say he can't wrestle. I said he's the worst wrestler out of the six of them.
No.
Oh,
he's
out of
not.
the 6 of them.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Like,
I thought you meant on the roster.
He
Yes.
is very
he can wrestle.
athletic.
He can wrestle. He's good.
He
his
can wrestle his ass off.
behind.
Yeah. He's good.
But
I
out of the
like
six
him.
of them, he's the worst wrestler.
No, he's better than Dean Ambrose ring wise. If you see a match, he is definitely.
I maybe I don't know.
How many?
Tomato.
2 different styles.
Hey, tomato.
If I see another
right.
second rope in and out lariat,
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
can't
hate
stand
that
those.
move.
I can't.
But I
stand
also hate Randy Orton's second
Overused.
rope DDT. But hey, I digress.
but that is
how
it's
they all
classic
crawl
because
to the
it's
second rope.
It's like, come on.
like you
okay, come
can't
get
see
me.
it coming. Like you kick him, okay, and then a DDT setup. Whereas if I'm the guy, I am watching you flip through the rope, coming at me, like yeah.
Just
It
waiting
is
for it.
innovative. No one does it. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't need you to do
But
it.
this
every
one-
I'll
match.
give him
Yes.
that. I'll give him
Like
that.
the
I don't
first
need to
time
do
it
that
happened, it was like
Right.
wow. That
Now it's
was
just you're trying to be cute. Like,
Yeah.
okay, no.
If that was his finisher or something like that,
Mhm.
cool. But I don't need to
If
see
that was
every
his
match.
finisher,
It's
Yeah.
gotta
I
be
would-
more
I would shoot
spontaneous.
my
Or
TV.
if it's set up his finisher,
Yeah.
I would
Cool.
shoot my TV.
When we
Like,
started to see
it
it, it
needs
was
to be
spontaneous.
once in the blue.
It lost that touch.
It needs to be once in the blue.
Mm-hmm.
so we're saying
Kind of like
Xavier
a style,
Woods
like a
is the
styles
weak
clash.
link on the New Day, and Dean Ambrose is the weak link on the Shield.
If we had to pick them, yes.
So,
Yes.
ergo, if we think the Shield is gonna beat the New Day if this match happens,
I
Xavier
think
Woods taking
Kofi
the
takes
pinfall.
the pin though.
Now, look. Let me
Disrespect.
stay on the weakest link part. Let me
Disrespect.
stick. I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna turn that around and throw it out there.
And
We agreed. We agreed that the weakest links on both sides were Xavier Woods and Dean Ambrose.
Correct.
And we kind of try to contrast them and see how they stack up next to each other. Now this on any given night, let's just say it's the curtain jerker, the first match of the night, right? Xavier Woods versus Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose is getting that win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who do you see? Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose
Okay.
is that one.
So out of the 6, to bring it full circle,
Xavier
what
Woods
Julio
is
was
the worst.
saying, he is the worst out of the
He is
bunch.
the worst one.
Just to again give
To
Julio
be
his
honest,
credit.
if we were talking about technical wrestling, a lot of people would say the worst wrestler is Roman Reigns.
I like him.
But I wouldn't say that.
I've always been a fan.
Roman
But
has some
a lot
style.
of smart wrestling fans would say Roman Reigns is the worst technical wrestler.
But he has more than the 5 moves to do.
He's more of a power guy.
Yeah,
Big
with
E's
some
a power
athletic
guy, but
ability.
Big E keeps me more interested in a match than Roman Reigns usually does. No
But
offense.
it's about entertainment because then why are people
I
even
remember-
when Brock
wish.
Lesnar is a heel, people go crazy for him. So why can't Roman Reigns get credit? He has way more moves to his arsenal than Brock Lesnar.
Brock is not being stuffed down our throats as the man.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Do you remember his debut?
I was about to say he isn't anymore because he already did that. He already got stuffed down our throats.
He went through that. He went through that phase already.
He already got stuck.
But
The
it
next
worked
big
in a
thing.
different time.
But when Brock came
because
in,
people had less of a voice.
when Brock came in, he was a heel singles competitor. That's the thing. When Roman came up, they came up as the Shield, as heels. Then they turned face, and then everyone's seen that WWE was grooming Roman out of the group, even though everyone liked Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose, they kind of grew on him.
SummerSlam 2013 didn't tell me they like Seth Rollins more. It told me they like Roman Reigns more.
No. Everyone loved Seth Rollins. Everyone knew Seth Rollins just because his moveset and like he was taking the bumps. Roman, yes. WWE had groomed Roman with the Royal Rumble prior with the elimination record. All right, before he was eliminated. Then he comes back and he wins. And we all know the reason why people don't cheer Roman now is because WWE dropped the ball by letting Daniel Bryan join that Royal Rumble. Like, let's be honest. That's the reason why they don't cheer Roman. Because people wanted to see Daniel Bryan because technically he never lost the title. He forfeited the title.
That's a key domino to the domino
It
effect.
is a key domino.
Yeah, it's a
It
key
is-
domino.
It is. It's probably the biggest domino.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, had WWE let Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble and had Daniel Bryan come back like a month before WrestleMania and have a match, everything all would be well. But the fact that they didn't, now you turn the company guy into someone that older adults
But can
hate.
you blame them? He's got everything Vince McMahon could ask for. The guy who's pulling
And that's
the
the
strings.
thing.
And
Vince
listen, you're
McMahon's
trying
asking for
to
it.
usher in a new era of stars, and he fits the bill.
But Vince McMahon
You can't
is
keep relying on the Brock Lesnars and the Rocks to
But
come
here's
back
the
and the
thing.
Jerichos.
Vince McMahon is asking for it. The people were asking for Daniel Bryan.
But this is the same man who gave you all these stars the past 20 years that we yearn over.
So let me break it down, right?
So let him.
So you're gonna
Introduce a new
start with Hulk
star.
Hogan. We'll start with Hulk Hogan, right? People loved Hulk Hogan until Hulk Hogan got DDT'd by Jake Roberts. They were supposed to have a feud. When Jake Roberts DDT'd Hulk Hogan, people were cheering. That nixed that feud, all right? Because people started growing sick of Hulk Hogan and that company push, all right? Who do we want to look to next? Give
John
me someone. Give me another
Who?
John Cena.
perfect example.
Okay.
When John Cena was the guy coming up, Thugonomics and stuff like that, people loved John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Once John Cena got to that top and everyone knew WWE was pushing him and he went from Thugonomics to Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect and all that, killed John Cena. Like, no, he just became corny. He wasn't authentic like he was. And now you get Roman Reigns. The people dictate who they want. They wanted Daniel Bryan. WWE didn't give him Daniel Bryan. So what did they do? They revolted. And they revolted in a major way. To the point where The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who everyone, when he came back as a heel, people were cheering. Dwayne The Rock Johnson got booed just for being in the same vicinity as Roman Reigns.
Well, Roman Reigns is not a good guy or a bad guy. All right?
He's just the guy.
He is the damn guy, bro. You better recognize Roman Reigns is the guy who will be reckoned with for the next 15 years. He's the face of the company because John Cena has 2 or 3 years left. The Rock may come back for 2 or 3 more matches. The Undertaker, I hope to hell not he doesn't come back.
What?
Because, no, simply because it was so beautiful the way he went out.
It depends who he's on the other end wrestling.
But just what I'm saying is like all these guys at the tail end.
Louis said that.
No, I'm
No,
an
but I do-
Undertaker.
I
You know
do
what I'm saying? You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
I
Yeah,
do
I'm an
agree
Undertaker
with-
fan. I'm a
yeah.
fan. I'm good. You know, I love Taker. I hope
It's
a
Jordan
privilege.
last shot moment.
Right.
type
No.
thing.
Like don't
That
erase
was a
that
horrible
moment.
because he wasn't 100. He was.
But let's
a
not
shell.
erase that moment.
yeah, but he's
though.
not gonna be 100%.
That visual
He
of
was a
all his
shell.
gear in the middle of the ring with WrestleMania.
I
in the
just don't like the
background.
fact that he left all this gear in the ring after a match with Roman Reigns. But then again,
Like,
I digress.
But then, who would you choose to retire him then?
I think
If
he
it's
should,
not Roman, who?
I think he
who should
wins
have
his
been?
last match against Cena.
Who? Xavier Woods? Who is that?
Cena.
Cena?
John Cena.
John Cena.
No disrespect to John Cena. No disrespect to The Undertaker. But like, I can't see you lose to Brock Lesnar, lose to Roman Reigns, and now you beat John Cena. Like, why we ruining John Cena's legacy like that? He's
Well,
he's been
because
doing this
there's
for a long time carrying the company.
here's the thing. John Cena is tied with Ric Flair currently for the most heavyweight title championship wins. So if he loses to Taker, it doesn't hurt him as much. His legacy is etched up there as far as his championship
I
accomplishments.
think it hurts him.
No.
I think it hurts him.
This is the same guy that lost to Sheamus in the tables match. It does not hurt him.
in the tables match, but it wasn't at WrestleMania.
It still was a loss.
Yeah, but it wasn't at WrestleMania.
Okay, so he was in the
WrestleMania carries
he was in an
losses.
opening match last WrestleMania in a mixed tag team match.
Yeah, true. No, that killed his that killed his legacy more than anything. The mixed tag team match,
And then
against The
proposed
Miz.
after.
Oh yeah, no, that killed it. You're right.
It was so
Yeah,
ingenuine.
no, hey, point taken. Touche.
Touche, pussycat, touche.
All right, well let's move on to the next agenda item because the time is running pretty quickly here on the Unsanctioned Podcast. I want to touch on Impact Wrestling just real quick.
Really?
I want to talk about
I got
because there's one
something.
thing
I just got something.
for Survivor Series.
It's everything because I know Julio's
Was he
a
right
Kevin
about
Owens
something
guy.
else? Is it? Oh, of course we're gonna get to that.
my guy.
Of course we're gonna get to that.
And I don't
That
want
guy.
to transition
Oh,
just
no,
because
no,
we're
no.
still WWE.
Just real quick, okay. I'll pick one element out of so many cool things. Oh no, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. So many things that were talkable about in the wrestling world, according to Impact. I mean, to do with Impact is okay. Alberto came back, controversial promo. He mentioned all that real life stuff in a quote unquote shoot. It's a work shoot. Cool. I'm glad to see he's back. I'm glad to see he's back on his feet.
But now
and
that you
things are
touched on
cleared
it,
up. Okay,
we will
but
wrap
that's
it
not
up.
what I was going to talk about. I want to talk about why the hell are they leaving the United States? Okay, especially after the report of this Ottawa show they've been doing, these tapings in Ottawa. They have a casting company bringing in paid actors to fill the audience.
Where was this?
What's
cited
up with
from?
that?
Where was
What's
this
up with
cited from?
that?
Do we know where this was cited from?
All over the place.
Oh, we
All
just
over.
want to make
do a
sure.
quick Google search.
Yeah, we just want to make sure we give him credit where credit is deserved. Credit. Yeah, I mean,
no, it's
Pro Wrestling News, I know, mentioned it. Wrestling
a
Inc.
lot of wrestling websites had it up all the same time, like
And they're
one
being-
big.
and-
I mean, it's not the first time that.
they're paying people $50 a day.
$50.
$50 a day
Damn.
for the tapings.
They
Asking
need to
them to
come
make
out here.
signs
I do
for
know.
more airtime.
Oh, you got to make signs to get
Make
the
signs for
$50?
more airtime. But here's the kicker.
Do that.
Earl Hebner recently left the company. Him and his
Bunch of
brother.
people left. His son left the company. Everyone left the company.
And the reason why is for their biggest pay-per-view of the year, which is Bound for Glory, which honestly, top to bottom, I would give a 7 out of 10. It was a good show. It was 7 out of 10. It was a 7.
You're pretty
6.
generous.
It was a very generous 7.
Nah,
right there.
it was.
But
I'm
you don't
gonna tell
like
because
Roman-
the
the
key
impact
matches,
after Bound for Glory.
But
was
he's
better
saying
than
he
Bound for
says
Glory.
Roman Reigns being shoved down our throats.
Yeah, the key matches delivered. That's why I gave it a 7. But for their quote unquote WrestleMania show, Bound for Glory, they chose to go with actors as referees and not use their own. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm Earl Hebner, I would feel disrespected myself. I would have asked to be released myself. I would want my walking papers. So the simple fact that they would do that and then hire fans and pay fans to attend in Canada, it's kind of crazy to me.
You know what? I
Why
think
are they
this
still
is-
around though?
You know what I think
Like,
this is? I think this is the classic case of non-wrestling people trying to run a wrestling
Mhm.
company.
Absolutely.
It happened back in the day with WCW, way back in the day, that it was so bad that Ric Flair quit and went to the WWF. But when you have non-wrestling people trying to run a wrestling company, they don't really understand. I bet you what happened is the company that runs Impact, who knows who
Anthem
it is
Sports.
by now.
Anthem Sports.
Yeah.
Nestle Crunch Bar by now. Who knows who runs it by now? Came in and probably hired a research company that, you know, is familiar with doing market research
Right.
on
Give 'em
what
all kind of
what
analytics
people want to watch and
Here's what you
what's
should
good
do.
to see on TV, and told them
Mhm.
people want to see good-looking people on TV who are animated, so they hired actors and replaced the people that actual wrestling fans are familiar with and want to see, and we can tell when something's fake. And easily you could tell when
It
those
smells
referees
bad. It's
did
the
not
whole
look good.
situation just
It
smells
was just
bad.
horrible.
I don't know why they just don't give up on it, pull the plug on it.
I don't know why Vince just doesn't buy it and consolidate with NXT. Call
Just
it a day.
yeah, just take the library. Take the library. You're good. It's
Vince,
it's-
save
it's
us.
good.
Save us, Vince.
Nice little library.
Y2V.
Save us, Vince.
I'd love to see Impact. If you don't want to give up on it, I'd love to see it go away for a long time. Go away for a while.
Forever. And it's-
Rebrand and come back.
It
But
just
see,
kind of
that's
sucks
it.
too, because as wrestling fans, the greatest wrestling time in wrestling is when we had two thriving companies. So
Absolutely.
But
not to have two
here's the
thriving
reason why
companies
I
kinda
don't want
sucks.
Impact to go away. Because if we look at WWE's roster now,
You don't want it to go away the way it is right now?
no, because they do have quality talent there.
It's just been bad for so long.
But they have quality. They
Exactly.
do have quality talent there. Like some storylines are horrible.
What would you say is
some
the golden
storylines are
era
good.
for TNA/Impact?
Golden era?
The golden era for them.
Oh Lord,
What are their best years?
it's kind of tough.
Like roughly.
I would
It's
say
not-
when they first started, or Main Event Mafia.
I would go with Fortune.
Oh, over Main Event Mafia?
I would go with Fortune.
Oh,
Main Event Mafia
the
is pretty
classic,
deep.
the most classic promo came
They
with
were pretty
Fortune.
deep.
Booker T alone saying
No,
respect
no,
was the greatest promo ever.
no, because he sounded like an extra from the Lion King.
Respect.
No, he was like a ripoff of King Booker on that. I would say Fortune.
Careful,
the reason
'cause
why,
apparently
because
Booker
you
T
had
listens to this
you had the Jay
podcast,
Lethal, Ric Flair out of the Fortune,
Oh,
AJ
great.
Styles. You know what I mean, you had Kazarian. Like that
Hey,
Fortune.
hey, you
You had Bear Money.
You just killed it as soon as you said Kazarian.
Well, no. he was to his credit, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are doing their thing in Ring of Honor, so we can't just knock them. All right. Like I said, AJ Styles, that was a classic point in time for them when they progressed AJ to the title picture or heavyweight title picture. That's when TNA started to thrive. Then you had your Main Event Mafia. You know what I mean? So if I was to give them their just due, I would probably say, let's say 10
Whatever.
to 14.
I would
Okay.
I would
Okay.
say 2006 to period.
No, I want to go that
Mm.
far.
Period. When they signed Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Once Kurt Angle
Oh,
signed
he
over there,
elevated the crap out
it
of
made
them.
them a relevant company.
Yes,
to
it
everybody.
did.
That's
but,
their peak.
100%.
But
Yep.
Jeff Jarrett didn't know how to step to the side when Kurt Angle came right away.
Literally.
But his matches were crazy. Angle.
Oh yeah.
Angle.
Angles.
Angles,
Yeah, all his matches were
Oh, yeah.
top
But
notch.
even like I
Samoa
said,
Joe
and when
and
you look
AJ
at
Styles.
man.
yes, that's what I
Even
said.
with
2010 to
Sting.
2014. But here's my thing with Impact Wrestling: they have
Okay.
quality talent who put on quality matches when lined up with the right people. So, like I said, you got Eddie Edwards, who him versus Lashley was a good match. Bobby Lashley, we remember Bobby Lashley in
he's turned
WWE,
it up.
and he's someone like he is a 180
Yeah.
degree different wrestler.
He always had it. He just didn't have the personality.
Right.
Yeah, and
But
now he has the personality.
I think
in Impact.
Impact and TNA, he got to be himself more. He got to
Yeah,
incorporate
and-
more of what he
yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah,
his
they
character.
weren't force feeding him
Right.
what to say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then currently, like now, like with his storyline with America, Top Team, the mixed martial arts stuff, just to bring that in, like it brings a real element.
I would love to see him go back to the WWE.
and go
Lashley?
against Brock Lesnar.
He wants to go back.
I mean,
Recently-
not necessarily Brock Lesnar, but that'd
He
be a great
recently
match.
appeared on a panel and said it.
He said he would, and I think that's just
But
because.
the fact that he didn't shut it down and change the subject,
well, why
he
would
wants
you
to,
when
he
when,
would do it. He would go back.
But why would you say you're not going back when the company you're in is finding it hard to stay afloat? You get what I'm saying?
No, I think
I
he's
just
coming from the
wouldn't
heart.
want to see Bobby Lashley come back and NXT to fight No Way Jose.
Nah,
I'd be
he better
pissed.
not. If he ever go back to WWE and they put him in NXT, that is disrespectful.
What's it going to take to right the ship? Will you bring Dixie back? Given the years that
No.
you named the
No.
years where she was
No.
the top lady.
What it would take to
She
write
was
the
an
ship
on-screen
is
character,
someone
bro.
with the last name McMahon buying the company and running
Nah,
it.
I agree with
not
that.
even that. It would just take. I mean, look at Ring of Honor. They don't have a McMahon there, and they're
And they're not thriving like the WWE or Impact is. Yes, they hold
You
on.
almost snatched
Let's
Jay.
just hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
That's
hold
the
on,
man's
hold
soul.
on, hold on.
Did he just say
Hold on.
Ring of Honor is not thriving?
It's
Like
not
broke your
thriving
soul.
in
He almost
terms
took it.
of-
Disrespect.
I'm not talking about in terms of in-ring
He almost
in-ring
snatched
quality
your soul.
or the fact that they're a grown company, but the top two North American companies are the WWE and Impact.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they are.
Ring of Honor, by far, is the number 2 company in America.
It's time to drop the cage.
In what national TV deal does Ring of Honor have?
Ding ding ding.
Impact is on Pop TV,
That's a
bro.
national. That's a
Ring
TV
of
deal.
Honor. Ring
That's
of
a
Hon-
TV deal.
But
That's
here's
a
my
TV
thing.
deal.
So,
that's a TV.
so Ring of Honor comes on Nessun. Is that not a TV deal?
It comes off like paid programming.
That's what I mean.
Right.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking
But
about.
hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
But in our market, it comes in a Nessun. There are other markets where they come on different channels.
Yes, but it comes off as paid programming
Right.
that you see at 2 a.m.
Pop TV though. All right, so put it like
What
this.
night? What
We're
night
more
of the
into
week is Ring of Honor on?
Saturday.
Do you ever see? I love
Saturday.
Nessun. I love
At what
Nessun.
time?
Listen,
6
I love Nessun.
6 o'clock on a Saturday?
Nessun.
Come on, man.
Right. I love Nessun, and we all do too, right? Okay, so got that out the way.
Shut up.
Now, Nessun, in terms of their deal, we don't know the details of it between Nessun and Ring of Honor. We're glad they're there, but do you ever see Nessun promoting Ring of Honor or tweeting about it or Facebooking or putting out articles?
I don't
Zero.
think Nessun knows Ring of Honor is on Nessun.
Exactly. They're just filling a slot. So that's
To
why
be honest,
Ring of Honor.
some of their personalities don't even know it's on it. Like, so, but
So, and that's not a knock. That's just we're looking at
but-
where Ring
but
of
here's
Honor
my
stands
thing.
in the
We're
TV
more
land.
in line with. We know more about Ring of Honor than Impact. We only know about Impact because former WWE guys are there,
This is true.
and to the point.
But
I
they,
believe
Yeah,
you
but I'm
referenced-
watching. But
to the
now
point-
their fault,
I'm
too.
watching
That's
Ring
their
of
fault.
Honor to
Well,
see
hold on.
who's the next guy
Hold
to
on.
leave there to go to WWE.
But
Right.
here's my thing.
Exactly.
And to my point, I believe you referring to Alberto as Del Rio and not El Patron, which is his Impact name.
Oh, you got to rewind the tape.
So now
I was watching. Not to change the. I'm not changing the subject, but today I was watching WCPW. Alberto El Patron. See, that was hard for me right there. Alberto El Patron versus Kurt Angle, and even Jim Ross. JR's on commentary, and he says it like multiple times. And Alberto El Patron is. I'm like, oh shit.
He should change his whole name.
Alberto El Patron is coming off the top rope. I was like, oh.
JR, I had nothing to do with that. If you ever hear this, I support you. I love you on commentary.
Dude, I love JR.
you are
I love
always welcome
JR.
on
He
the
should still be on
podcast.
WWE TV today.
So-
I hope he becomes a lifer
Me
at
too.
some point.
So here's
I
my
love
thing.
JR. But I'm saying in terms of
To
the
get
name,
back to Julio's absurd point, Ring of Honor arguably has the guy who's currently changed the independent scene since he left WWE,
The independent scene.
which is thriving.
The independent scene.
Which is thriving so much that a WWE guy is going back to the independent scene with New Japan. Let's make it clear. Ring of Honor has the hottest faction in all of wrestling. Right?
Does Ring of Honor have that faction?
Yes,
Or
they do.
Does New Japan let them borrow that faction?
However you want to put it, it is in Ring of Honor.
Hmm,
Okay,
Good
so
point.
put it like this.
good point.
The Young Bucks, arguably the hottest tag team.
But how did they get? What traits did they use to become, to get that level of?
Oh, everything they're doing is original. It's
Yes.
super original, Young Bucks.
To the point.
Not. Thank you. Okay.
I think I saw this
Uh,
movie about 15 years ago.
See, I was trying to word everything. I couldn't even find my words
So-
because, man, cease and desist,
everything-
baby.
It's called Degeneration X.
So
Right.
you said cease and
Pop in
desist.
a tape
The
of
funny-
1997.
Right.
The funny
Right.
thing about cease and desist, they now have a move called cease and desist. So the fact that they're able to take a situation like that
They're smart.
and
Yes.
flip it, they're great at
right.
marketing.
But
Again.
they're not original.
Again, would do yes. Everything he just
So,
said.
hold on, if
they're
that's-
smart.
Okay, so if that's the
Cool.
case, the
Good
whole
for
too
them.
sweet gesture, NWO stole that.
But still, why?
It started in WWE with the Click.
They did. And the two guys who started the NWO
They were there.
came from the
The
Click.
first person,
They-
but
they
the
have
first
a
person
right
to
to use
but
it, but
the
they
first
brought it
person who
over.
Started it was
They brought it over.
was
No,
X-Pac.
yeah,
but it was
no.
it was a WWE thing. It started in WWE.
So
It's
no,
not
but
even
it's not
listen,
WWE's. It started.
They're great. They're
It
just
started
not
while they were
original.
there.
Okay? They're not original.
Yeah.
But who is original? Like Nature Boy Ric Flair wasn't original. He took the name Nature Boy from Buddy Rogers. Like
Yeah, but he carried it. He
he
carried
took it and he just elevated.
Ooh.
But he copied
I'm
it.
sorry. Kevin Owens is original.
Yes.
Kevin Steen.
All right, he's original.
Started a Ring of Honor.
He's original.
Really?
Oh,
I am the face of America? That was so original?
He's original. He's a fat guy doing wild moves,
Making it work. He's
Bam,
making
bam,
it
bam.
work. He's original.
classic heel promos,
Yeah.
no
Bam,
matter
bam.
who's cheering him.
Right?
Bam Bam.
Or under what directive
Bam.
he's under.
Can't call it. I know you're not comparing
So-
Kevin Owens to Bam Bam Bigelow. No disrespect to
Just
Bam
saying.
Bam Bigelow, rest in power. But Kevin Owens is a way better wrestler.
So this is a
than
good
Bam Bam.
segue to one of our topics on that sheet I'm looking at right now. KO and Sami Zayn. Your boy is Sami Zayn, 19s, 20s paper boy.
Would you guys mind if I attack this?
So
Go right ahead.
Julio
Mind
Jeune,
if I attack this?
Dive
the
in.
floor is yours.
A second ago, you asked us what can Impact Wrestling do to save themselves.
Oh
I
snap!
know this is.
Look at how this is starting.
If Kevin Owens leaves the WWE,
He said Impact and KO in the same sentence.
is on Impact Wrestling, I'm not only watching it every week.
You're going to sign up to get
Listen,
paid and be in
paid,
Ottawa.
I'm going to Ottawa right now. You know what? I'll say, hey, keep your $50. I'm here.
Keep it.
I'm here just for support.
I'm working for free.
WWE cannot let this happen. You know who I'm going to blame this on? I'm going to blame this on one man.
If there is beef, though, would you want him to do that, or would you want him to stick it out in WWE?
Only because WWE is the main
Yeah.
show in town. I want him to stick it on WWE.
Okay.
I
Now,
like seeing Kevin Owens on TV.
Is it a
He's
coincidence
great wrestler.
that they were very close with Neville and Mr. Jimmy Jacobs?
No, I'm blaming this on one person.
No. Who are you blaming?
This is the Sami Zayn curse.
Oh my!
As soon as Sami Zayn came
man.
around, Kevin Owens on
Right.
TV.
Oh man!
All of a sudden, he's not on pay-per-views.
Uh.
He's losing on SmackDowns.
Mm.
Like,
Sami Zayn has that power.
he's so bad.
Okay.
He's so bad.
Oh wow.
He's so bad.
June
That's
is
your boy.
He's
June
just
is- that's not my
bland.
guy.
Like even this thing with Kevin Owens, like I was like, oh, this is gonna give him a kick. Like he's gonna turn into a heel. Like he's the same Sami Zayn character, and it's horrible. His character is horrible. His matches aren't interesting because his character is horrible.
Oh man.
I just don't like the hat and the
June,
dancing.
what is in the cup today,
I don't know,
man?
I just don't like Sami Zayn.
June
And
is
fuck Stevie Ray.
Oh, June is on fire.
Oh, Stevie
Whoa.
Ray. Stevie Ray. Well, there's still conflicting reports, apparently, about exactly what happened in the UK, why they were sent home early. And, you know, our boy, Justin Barrasso.
Shout out to Justin.
JP.
I love Justin. Unsanctioned loves Justin. We love Justin. And I don't think some of the flack that he's getting for his reporting lately is just. I don't think it's fair. I think he is one of the innovators in the game to bring wrestling to the forefront in the mainstream. That right there is like, don't forget that. You know what I mean? Don't forget
You
that
have Bill
foundation.
Apter as well. You have, Dave Metzers and Sam Roberts. You have a couple guys, but JB, and this is me speaking, Jay Holland. I see the work that he puts in.
Yes.
Like I am sometimes in the room when he's on the line with people getting his information
Mm-hmm.
and typing it into stories.
And we know him. We interact with him personally. He's an honest guy.
Yeah.
He's an honest guy.
And so, and if I may, to JB's credit, he had put out a report about TNA needing money, not having money, and he got a lot of backlash for that when Double J, Jeff Jarrett, was still with the company, and go figure, when Jeff Jarrett was no longer a part of the company, he was saying how Impact needed money, which was to Justin's, Justin's credit, Justin was right about it. So. But yeah, for him to receive a lot of
Yeah,
flack,
Yet they'll still take his information and run with it.
yeah.
You know, they gotta just kind of like jab at him. It's like, come on.
So, for those who don't know, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were kicked off the European tour for quote unquote going into business for themselves. What initially was supposed to happen was after the match with Sami Zayn and Kofi, Kevin Owens was supposed to do a run-in, in which he did. And then it was all supposed to get beat down by the New Day. But instead, what happened was they got beat up and rolled out the ring and went up the ramp instead of taking the finishers like they were supposed to. With that said, people thought they went into business for themselves. They got the approval from Vince McMahon to kick them off the tour. Now,
Sounds kind of harsh.
Credit Dave Metzer for this. This is where I heard this source from, giving Dave credit.
Fuck Stevie Ray.
Dave.
I was about to ask. Did you say something?
Dave said it might have been something of a miscommunication. You know, maybe they didn't hear, or maybe it was just a mix-up in communication, because they did the promo correctly, they did the finish correctly, the match and the finish correctly. It was just the post-match thing that they didn't do, and so which leads them to believe maybe it was just a lack of communication somewhere. So who knows? But on the other hand, like I said, they were extremely close with Neville, who no longer wants to be with the company, and Jimmy Jacobs, who is no longer with the company. So maybe, just maybe, there's a line
like
that's
a revolt.
There's a line or a trend that's going there. And mind you, if those who watch Being the Elite, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn made an appearance without saying a word.
True.
Made an appearance in those episodes, and they're still with the company. Jimmy Jacobs took the selfie.
I would think Kevin Owens would have a lot to lose by wanting to get pushed out and being an independent guy, following that Cody Rhodes model and all that. He has a lot to lose. He's in WWE at the forefront of things, making money, getting exposure, traveling the world.
Here's my thing. I don't think.
Why would you taunt WWE?
I don't think he would lose. I think actually he would come into his own and make a lot, or somewhere along the line. He would get booked. Flat out.
If you're in the top spot, no, we're not saying he's not going to get booked.
Getting paid a different.
Right.
Okay,
exactly.
so what's the difference? We said the same thing about people thought the same thing about Cody. Cody's getting paid right now,
and good for him.
He's getting paid.
Cody wasn't.
He wasn't doing shit
champion
in WWE
on the level of Kevin Owens.
So my
he's
point
going to make more
exactly.
money on the independent scene.
So if Kevin Owens goes independent, what makes you think that he couldn't bank in more money than Cody?
Because those companies don't have the money to pay Kevin Owens the way that Vince McMahon does.
In the position that Kevin Owens is in right now, he would hurt his legacy in the wrestling business by leaving WWE because of
I don't even think
his
Kevin Owens
position
is
in the company.
a guy worried about legacy or anything like that. It's just I feel like that's to be in the WWE has been his dream, and to hear for so long somebody like him is not going to be able to make it in the WWE. He just feels like, to me, somebody who wants to prove people wrong. So I don't think he quit so easily like that. I think this is probably Sami Zayn in his head,
oh man, there you go.
We got to do this. Get out of here.
So quick question:
man.
will they be on SmackDown next week?
No.
Yes.
What?
I don't see them on SmackDown until after Survivor Series.
I'm with you, Julio. I think they'll be there. It's regular business.
No. I don't see them on SmackDown until I think they actually keep them off for a while.
I'd be shocked.
Because what was supposed to technically happen was that Sami Zayn versus Kofi in that beatdown was going to lead to a tag team match with them versus the New Day. I think now the New Day is gonna, especially a week out from Survivor Series, I think they'll be more focused on this Shield, and they want to build that up since that match is going to be a late edition. So that's why I don't see Owens and Zayn on next week's SmackDown. I think they come back at some point after Survivor Series.
I say that the SmackDown or at Survivor Series.
Interesting. It's still, the whole issue's still boiling. It's still wait and see.
Guys,
we'll figure it out.
Guys, since we're talking independent scene, can't talk independence.
I know exactly what you were looking at on that sheet. I was looking at it too.
Can't talk independence
I was
without
ready to
some
shift
huge news. Huge news coming out this past weekend. Wrestle Kingdom 12, January 4th, 2018, the Tokyo Dome. Kenny Omega versus the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller, Y2J Chris Jericho.
Huge match.
Break the walls down.
Huge match. Mega huge match.
That set the internet abuzz. After months of back and forth, cheap shots at one another.
Fooling everybody.
Yes, fooling everyone.
But at one point, you could tell, okay, this has worked.
So,
in the beginning, all right.
We got this from Justin Barrasso as well. So the gentleman, excuse me that I can't recall his name, but he was the Jackal in WWE.
Don Callis.
was responsible for actually brokering the deal between Jericho and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, it may, as it seems now, as a one-time appearance, but with New Japan also announcing that they're coming back to Long Beach, California in March 25th to be exact, for their second U.S. show, I don't rule it out that Jericho wins the U.S. championship title from Kenny Omega and holds it to then.
Now, here's the thing. If he does that, he's risking his WrestleMania spot.
I
don't
think
think
Chris
that Jericho
Jericho
worries
has
about
done
that.
so many WrestleManias. It's not a.
Yeah.
He's a free agent. Like, he also didn't notify WWE that he was going to New Japan.
I also don't think New Japan is holding out for Chris Jericho for that show on the March 25th, 2018. I think their dream is that Brock Lesnar
Oh, no.
is out of his contract and they can
Nah,
sign
nah.
him to a
So here's
match
the
to
thing.
be-
Wrestle Kingdom always sells out. It's in the Tokyo Dome. It always sells out. That's their biggest show. All right. The fact that they're coming stateside for the second time, I think if you add someone like a Chris Jericho and you have Jericho Omega 2, now the first time that they came last year, they sold out to the point they had to open up a second show, and they sold out immediately again. Granted, it was 5,000 seat stadium. Maybe they can boost it to a 10,000 seat stadium with Jericho. Now you have Jericho Omega
And Jericho's big in Japan.
2.
Jericho
Yeah,
made a name for
first
himself
match-
before he went to WWE.
First match
Japan.
back in 20 years.
And, wow. See, I didn't know that.
Brock
stat.
Lesnar is also big in Japan too, though.
Yeah, he's big over
But
there.
he's not.
But he was made in
Jericho
WWE.
big.
Jericho-
I mean, he's a former
Yeah.
heavyweight champion over
Yeah,
there.
he's the former IWGP
Right.
heavyweight
He had some good
champ.
matches too, even against
Shinsuke.
Kurt Angle.
So wasn't
Shinsuke.
AJ.
Yeah.
Shinsuke.
Undertaker went there too.
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke.
Yeah, right.
Brock
Shinsuke
Lesnar
was a
versus
junior
Shinsuke.
heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's unique about
great
Jericho is that
Hogan was over there too.
Japan can kind of claim him. They can claim him.
Jericho, yeah.
Like he's one of ours. And
They
so
can
it's
claim
cool
a lot. They
after
can claim
20
Finn
years.
Balor.
I think this is going
Yeah.
to be cool because it's very rare that you see a wrestler versus his former self in the ring.
Mm.
It's very. I mean, Kenny Omega is very much in the vein of Chris Jericho in his prime. So
Hmm.
to see Chris
Interesting.
Jericho versus Chris Jericho in his prime is going to be a good match.
So I think with that, I think that's an interesting. I think that's just an interesting dynamic, and I'm all for it, man. Like
I'm for it.
I'm glad that happened, and you know I'm
the
definitely gonna try to get our a good buddy, Mr. George Carroll, saying the United States director of development for New Japan. We're gonna try to get him in whether in the next couple weeks, see if he can talk about more on that and their plans. But
Absolutely.
I think with that news coming out,
yeah,
it's going to be a blast, man, and
it's gonna be big.
it's going to be a great
tune
year.
in.
The way to start off wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, great to
Yeah.
start it off with Wrestle Kingdom and seeing Jericho Omega, and then from there, I think WWE is going to have to really tighten up their loose ends.
Try to get us the low seats if you can. Don't put us up in the balcony. All right.
Oh, who knows? We may be
I
able
ain't
to-
getting on that 16-hour flight. I'll tell you right now.
I mean, I'm looking more towards the Long Beach, but we'll see.
6 hours I could do. 16, that's too much for me.
All
You know
right.
what I mean? But yeah, man. So I think that's like I said, that hearing that news this past weekend, it's great. And I think there's more to it. I think with the Cruise of Jericho going on and Jericho asking to use some NXT stars and
And
WWE
being told no,
and
I think he
WWE
took
shutting
that
that down.
personally. Yeah, I think
He's
he
like,
did.
What?
That was the
he
probably
stayed-
sealed the deal for his Japan appearance.
Yeah,
probably.
and the fact that he stayed beyond his last WWE run, he stayed an additional month
oh yeah,
to help fix that botch finish between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles.
yeah, that was a huge pop. Him coming out that SmackDown,
Yeah.
that was huge.
So I don't know, man. I think by Jericho even doing that, it sets a lot of ripple effect going forward. To be honest, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Well, that is how we wind down the 10th episode, milestone episode of the Unsanctioned Podcast. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in to our previous episodes and who listened to this one. from start to finish. We appreciate that. We appreciate the gesture. And what'd you say about Stevie Ray?
Yeah, I was about to say, do we have a party note for Mr.
Stevie
Ray?
Ray, I was just joking.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
You
man.
know
Listen,
what I mean?
man.
Stevie Ray and this right. Fuck Stevie Ray.
Oh man! Hashtag. That's gonna be that's part of the new Unsanctioned T-shirts.
Hashtag SR.
Oh,
We'd get that
FSR.
Stevie Ray cease and desist.
FSR.
FSR?
Stevie Ray.
I'm Luis Vasquez. You can follow me on Twitter at Luis Vasquez 617.
I'm Jay Holland. You can find me at JOCity, JAYOCITY. Unless it's on that Facebook, add that 781 at the end.
I'm Julio Jeune.
Caw.
Plain and simple.
That's it.
I'm
Exclamation
Julio
point.
Jeune, and you're not.
We are now signing off your airways, man.
Yes, sir. Money over here, money over here, yeah. Tool, gotta bring the city back. Let me know we still here, never gonna stop. Keep rolling like a wheelchair, can't be shook. You know the wolf smell, fear, throw 'em in the trunk.